All right, guys, I've got some awesome fragrance deals to talk to you about today. Really great deals if you're on a budget and you're looking for some awesome scents that I personally recommend. This is the video for you. I do a video like this at least once a week and notify you guys of amazing fragrance deals, the fragrances that are discounted more than 50% off. Not all, but some. And I do these, like I said, at least once a week. And I also buy fragrances myself when I see the deals. And after the outro, I've got a haul of fragrances that I've recently purchased that have been delivered. And also one fragrance I'm going to highlight that I never smelled before that I'm going to buy as well. And I'll let you know those all after the outro. But today we're talking about some great fragrance deals. These are fragrances that I personally recommend, and I highly recommend you guys go ahead and take advantage of these deals before they run out. I can't guarantee everything will be selling by the time you end up watching this video, but the best is to just take advantage of it right away. All the products are timestamp tagged via YouTube Shopping, so I don't add affiliate links in the info box. You can click each of the timestamps or chapters to go to that specific fragrance. There's a little window on the left bottom. You click that and it opens up all of the products, and they are tagged to various retailers. So let's start with the first fragrance. This is Clean Reserve Skin. One that I've recommended quite a bit. I absolutely love this. It's a minimalistic fragrance. It's a musky fragrance. It's a skin scent. Right now you can get 100 ml for $70. It's a tester. Full presentation for $81. This is around $120. So I think the tester might be the best deal. One thing you should know, testers, you might not get a cap for it. But if you don't care about the cap, it'll just come like this. Not all testers come without a cap, so just be warned. But this is one of my favorite musky fragrances. It's super clean. It's sexy. It's musky. It's slightly warm and vanillic, a little ambery, and totally worth it. You can go catch a full shorts video I've done on this product. I highly recommend it if you like skin scents, musky fragrances, clean scents. Skin is called Skin, so it basically tells you what it is, and definitely one for you to try. I bought mine full retail at Sephora, which is right down the street from where I am right now, and I had to have this because it smelled so great. But right now, $70 tester is a great deal. Highly recommend you take advantage of it. This is Clean Reserve Skin. I want to talk more about that brand. I hope to acquire some more fragrances from that house, and I can do a video, but this is definitely one of the best. So Clean Reserve Skin, $70 for the tester, $81 for the full presentation, and normally it's $120 for 100 ml. Let's move on to Christian Louboutin next. We've got LOUBIRAJ. So this is the full presentation for $165, and these are like $300, if not more, for a full presentation like this. So this is currently selling for $165, highly discounted, and this is a little tough to get out, but this is how the bottle looks. This is LOUBIRAJ right there. It does also come with another cap, which I've never used. I used to leave those out of the box before, and this is like this. It's not a tester. This is $165 for full presentation, but that's the actual cap part. But what is this fragrance all about? For a while, I was talking a lot about these fragrances. I've, kind of put them aside. I don't talk too much about them, but it was nice to have these. I bought them from Saks Fifth Avenue at full retail, but they were doing a promotion, and so I took advantage of it. Like, I think it was I remember buying them during Black Friday, so they had like a really intense promotion on these, so that's why I bought them. But this price is so awesome. You should definitely take advantage of this for $165 currently. But this is a musky, leathery, super spicy offering from the house. Why am I not having... There it is. So if you are a fan of leather fragrances, definitely check this one out. It is highly discounted currently, and it's definitely slightly animalic on the leather, and of course very spicy. I believe it has some peppery notes. Could be pink pepper or black pepper. I forgot to put this back inside the box, but anyway. So yeah, let me know if you're a fan of this collection from Christian Louboutin. Recently, I've been speaking about their amber fragrance, Fetish L'Ambre. It's so good. It's a green tuberose amber. It's super sexy, but some of the previous fragrances are also really, really great. Let's move on to Maison Margiela's Soul of the Forest. $117 for this. Normally, it's $230. So this fragrance was part of the 5 of these black bottles that were launched quite a while ago. They got discontinued. Then Maison Margiela relaunched them, and I think they brought back 3 of the 5. This is one of the best. I think it's Quinton Biche creation. It's kind of a mossy, spicy green fragrance. If you like the idea of mossy fragrances, definitely check this out. It's also only $117. It's normally $230. Suggested retail price, so it's over $100 off on this. And the black bottles are eau de parfum concentration compared to the clear bottles that are eau de toilette concentration. So this one I had bought when Barney's was going out of business and they had a clearance sale. So this is a tester, demonstration tester. It was on the counter and I've had it and I put it away because I remember it got discontinued, but I'm glad that it's back now. But if you like the idea of a mossy green, kind of like a forest floor experience, definitely check out Soul of the Forest from the House of Maison Margiela. Now let's talk about Atkinson's Oud Save the King. Here is that fragrance. Cool looking bottle. This is also a brand that I first discovered at Barney's. Although, did I buy this? Where did I buy this one? I think I ordered this one online. This is kind of a very Western oud fragrance that's super spicy. A little bit hinting of the fragrances like Tobacco Vanille, things like that, because it's got a lot of spices. It's a bit vanillic, but you do definitely have that prominent oud accord kind of a effect in there. But it's only 100 ml for $95. It's a tester, so most likely it'll come with a cap, but I can't guarantee. But definitely worth it. I don't know who sells this brand anymore. It's a great house. Back in 2019, January of 2019, I was in England, London, and they actually had a store. Was at the Burlington Arcade, and it was like really near to the Roger Parfum store. And there I got a haircut, a shave, and I bought a bottle of fragrance, and I can't remember which one I bought, but this is definitely one of the best. It's a very kind of warm, spicy, and then also oudi. There's vanillic qualities. There's woods and amber in there for sure, and of course the oud effect, oud accord that's in there. That's quite nice. It's if you like warmer fragrances, definitely check this one out. Oud Save the King from the House of Atkinsons. All right, next up, going to the House of Hermes. It's Eau de Basilic Purpre. I think it's a great scent for summer wear. It is an eau de cologne, by the way. This collection from Hermes, they are all eau de colognes. But this is an aromatic fragrance, aromatic spicy. It's fresh, it's green. If you like the smell of basil, this is definitely one to try. It's for sure basil come alive in fragrance form. It's also an eau de cologne concentration, so it won't be overwhelming. The color totally tells me what we're going to get. Very green, aromatic, spicy smelling fragrance. And it's 100 ml for $45. There's also a larger size available at a great discounted price as well. But if you like the idea of basil, it might remind you a little bit of tomato salad, like Italian tomato salad or Italian food. But I get past that. It's a really authentic smell of the basil, I think. So if you like that idea, check that out for $45 for 100 ml. That's Hermes Eau de Basilic Purpre. Really wonderful offering. Now, this next one is also really great quality fragrance. 2 back-to-back of Thomas KOSMALA. This is number 11, Super Amber. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Clean Reserve I was talking about earlier. This is 100 ml for $95. It's not a tester, it's full presentation. And it's close to the skin. It's a bit muskier than the Clean Reserve skin, kind of more like Original Musk, or maybe a little bit more like the Musk Ravageur, but not all that sweetness and the intensity. This is more of a skin scent. But it's an amber that's musky. It's not super clean, but very, very sexy. It's got woods, it's spices, and it has a slight authentic smell of like a true deer musk, kind of a musk. but I find it to be personal. It's close to the skin. It's a bit dirty, so it's not clean like clean reserve skin because of that reminder of the authentic deer musk in there. But I find it to be very sexy if you want something a little bit more daring rather than a super clean skin scent. Then you would go with something like that because it is definitely a skin scent. This is number 11, Super Amber, from the house of Thomas KOSMALA. We've got another fragrance from the house, and I've recommended this one quite a bit. This is Thomas KOSMALA's number 4, Après l'Amour. It's $78. I believe it's a tester. That is a great price, $78 for this one. It's a super intense fragrance. If you like amber woods, you must have a bottle of this one in your collection. It's more minimalistic, but not a skin scent. It's super loud. So it's got a lot of amber woods, like ambroxan type notes. And you will get kind of salty, woody, musky, ambery, and what else? Woods, amber. All of those effects come to mind with the idea of this fragrance, but it kind of wears minimalistically, but it is super potent. So it's an intense take on the amber woods, ambroxan kind of notes that are in there. But that's a great price for $78. I highly recommended this one. Both of these are great. In fact, you can layer the two together as well because they are kind of minimalistic. The number 4 is stronger. So layer that down, let it be the base because it is a lot of base notes. And then layer this super amber on top, and you get a little bit of that muskiness, a slight animalic muskiness in there. But keep in mind, this is a skin scent, so you might have to do some playing around with how many sprays of each. But for sure, the number 4, less sprays. Number 11, more sprays. But if you want something big and present, do a lot of sprays of the number 4 and then double it with the number 11, so you can kind of like balance it out because number 11 is not as loud as number 4, if that makes sense. So you have kind of like your own idea of playing mixologist with a fragrance, and you'll end up with a very musky, sexy, ambery offering. So get both at the really great price for these. The Après l'Amour is $78, the number 11 Super Amber is $95. I've got another really great cheapie here. It's a tester from Ralph Lauren. It's Polo Cologne Intense, and I find this to be perfect summer freshy. It's only $35 for a tester of the 120 ml bottle. It's a grapefruit bomb. It's grapefruit and aromatics and spices and woods. It's juicy. It's pulpy. It's only $35 for 120 ml. If you're on a budget for fragrances, it works great. It is a tester, so you might not get the cap. You're definitely not getting the presentation like the box. But it's if you don't care about that stuff and you just want the juice itself, $35 is great. It doesn't smell like the original Polo. This is Polo Cologne Intense. Very modern, grapefruity, juicy, pulpy take on the original Polo green. That is the very iconic green fragrance from the late 70s. Same perfumer created it, by the way. It's Carlos Benayem. Both. He created the original in 1978, and he also worked on this. But again, night and day different fragrances, so they're not going to be identical. This is a super freshy, juicy, pulpy fragrance, and it's a great scent. I actually really enjoy it. That is Polo Cologne Intense, 120 ml for $35. You're also getting an extra 20 ml because it's not 100 ml as a traditional bottle is. It's 120 ml bottle, so it's 20 ml more than you're getting it for $35. So that's a great deal. Let's move on to Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. 120 ml here once again. This is $90. That's also a great price. You know, I'm starting to prefer the Intense much more than the original. There's something juicy, pulpy about this. And even though it's all citruses, there's a slight fruitiness that I like in here that adds another layer of depth with the fact that it's fruity, fresh, mostly relying on citruses, but I feel like I said, I do get a little bit of a fruitiness. And I think the idea of the fragrance is like Aventus, but I find this to be super pulpy, juicy, almost to the level of creaminess. And in comparison to Aventus, it's screechy, kind of harsh, not so pulpy in effect, wearing effect. I kind of prefer this over Aventus, but of course Aventus has other notes that make it stand out. Of course, the birch and the smokiness and things like that. But I kind of prefer the Intense version. It's a great price for this. It's over $200 for the original, so it's $90 here. So you're saving a lot more money. Although I think the Intense Cedrat Boise might be even more than $200 because the intense fragrances are more expensive. I think the original fragrances from Mancera are $190. This might be like $220. So you're saving quite a bit of money here with Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise. 120 ml for $90 is a great price for that. So take advantage of that one ASAP. But this one, these fragrances rarely go on sale at a high discount. I highly recommend you take advantage of this right away. Byredo fragrances are over $330. In fact, they might be around $350 now for 100 ml. Black Saffron is $172. It's Byredo's take on something like Tuscan leather. So it's leathery, fruity, raspberry, but of course, Byredo fragrances tend to be kind of that airy. They're not super dense. They have, I feel like they come off lighter. They don't have that depth that a lot of a lot of fragrances do, because that makes the Byredo fragrances a little bit easier to wear. But this is 100 ml for $172. If you like the idea of leather, but more fresh than Tuscan leather, and featuring the fruitiness, the raspberry note is in here prominently, you're going to like this one. I think this is the kind of leather fragrance you can also wear when it's warm outside. I don't think this is super dense to kind of choke you. At least I can. In fact, I have no problem wearing strong fragrances in the summer. But some of you might be a bit more sensitive to really intense fragrances, and if you like the idea of wearing something leathery like Tuscan leather, but you thought it's too intense, this is one for you to try. But it is a great price. $172 is a great price for this, for 100 ml, because Byredo fragrances rarely go on sale, and if they do, they're more than that. So take advantage of that right away, because it is a great price. Let's move on to the next one. Lemon Island from Atelier Cologne. Again, there's some Atelier Cologne fragrances ending up at discounters. Not a lot, because they don't have much of a distribution anymore. Again, I was in China last October in Beijing. I saw an Atelier Cologne store kiosk situation at the mall that my hotel was next to. And I was surprised that they were there. They were like present. People were visiting their store and checking out the fragrances and things like that, but they have no presence. But sometimes you find their fragrances at discounters, like Lemon Island. I remember Lemon Island came out like towards the end, just before they closed up shop in North America. And if you like the idea of lemony fragrances, this is definitely one for you to try. This is currently 100 ml for $97. It's called Lemon Island, and it's basically kind of a beachy, creamy, almost sunscreeny take on lemons. So you've got a bit of a coziness. That creaminess gives it a cozy factor. And the lemons in here are sweet, not super astringent or tart, but it comes off kind of tropical, islandy, creamy, because I think there might be some additional notes that are giving us the kind of tropical, creamy, almost like coconut is what I'm getting with this one, infused with the lemons. In fact, the photo might give us a clue. In fact, they're not using, it says jasmine. Oh, there's vanilla. So I think it's the vanilla, the jasmine, together with the lemon is giving it a kind of a creamy, sweeter warmth. But I wouldn't say this is super sweet, because you've got a lot of that, the lemons in here, which the jasmine and the vanilla kind of tones it down. But it's a pleasant scent. If you like lemon and you find it to be too sour, and you want some warmth and a little bit of depth, I think the flowers giving you a little bit of that tropical kind of touch, with the vanilla taking it into a little more of a beachy tropical direction. So that's Lemon Island from the House of Atelier Cologne. It's $97 for 100 ml. I think it's a great scent for summer wear. It's got a little bit of warmth and depth there, not all lemons. Next, I'm going to the House of JOVOY. This is Conduit Street, 21 Conduit Street, 100 ml for $140. Remember, guys, the fragrances were redone recently, and the bottles are no longer 100 ml. So if you're in the market for JOVOY fragrances, now's the time to take advantage. This is 100 ml for $140. And this is a fresh, kind of mossy, musky fragrance with... Wait, I take that back. I'm not sure this is mossy. This is more aromatic, spicy. There's also a lot of grapefruit. It's very, very fresh and perfect for summer. And if you were missing this in your, collection, now is the time to take advantage of it, because in the future, the 100 mLs will be completely gone, and you will only have access to the 75 ml bottles. Is that what they became? But I like that it has ambroxan here. It's got a lot of very fresh citrusy touch. The ambroxan's in the base. And that this is named after the street address of the London store, the JOVOY store in London. But it's not one of my all-time favorites, but I'm highlighting it here because, you know, they are no longer 100 ml. So if you're in the market for this, get it right away. It's a great price, even less than what the normal 100 ml sell for. So it's totally worth getting. 21 Conduit Street by JOVOY. Before it runs out, get it right away. Anyway, that's 21 Conduit Street. My label is a little bit scratched up, it seems like. But anyway. All right, next, going to the house of Boûcheron. This is a collection that I don't think ever caught on in the States, but you can get all their fragrances at the discounters. And this is definitely one of my favorites. This is FEVE TONKA de KANAIMA. If you're a fan of tonka beans, you must check this out. It's only $90 for a 125 ml bottle. And remember, I was a huge fan of Fève Delicieuses. I think this came out around that same time. And this still exists, unlike Fève Delicieuses, which is completely discontinued. I don't understand what Dior does with the discontinuations. But this is bitter, almondy, nutty. I think they're highlighting the tonka. I don't think it's very similar to Fève Delicieuses. It's not as gourmand as Fève Delicieuses, but there are touches of it. You really are highlighting the Fève tonka beans in this fragrance, and that's what the star of the show is. So it's a Fève tonka is what it's called, but FEVE TONKA de KANAIMA, but it's a tonka bean bomb. But you know, tonka beans come off nutty, bitter. If you've ever eaten bitter almonds, I think it's kind of similar in flavor. And so the smell is basically that amplified. There's some spices, there's some warm vanillic touches here. There's some woods and amber as well. But the FEVE tonka beans are in your face, and you've got to enjoy that bitterness of the tonka beans. I wouldn't say this is not gourmand, but for me, it's not like Fève Delicieuses, but they're highlighting the note of tonka beans. But 125 ml for $90. Again, you're getting 25 ml more juice than a normal bottle, and you've got it for $90. So it's less than $100. This collection probably sold around $220. So the price is really great. So that is Boûcheron's FEVE TONKA de KANAIMA, 125 ml for $90. This fragrance also, I think it might be on its way out. I'm not 100% sure. It's not on the LALIQUE website anymore. This is Ombre Noir. Ombre Noir is a great creation by Karen de Brule Sereni. And if you are a fan of Mauboussin's Un Histoire d'Homme Irrésistible, you might check this out. It's kind of a boozy, ambery take on that fragrance. There are touches like that here, but it's taken into a boozy, warm direction, whereas Un Histoire d'Homme Irrésistible is more fresh and green and citrusy, woody. This is more boozy, warmer, you know, kind of cozy, and a little bit more something you would wear during the holidays, because it's giving me very holidays vibes. But underneath it all, there's like similarities to Un Histoire d'Homme Irrésistible in the end. But I went to the LALIQUE website to get their suggested retail price. I can't find it. So since it's not there, it might be on its way out. It's a great scent by LALIQUE, and currently 100 ml for $44. It's a great, great price. So take advantage of that. LALIQUE fragrances are some of my favorite men's designer offerings. They've made some awesome scents, not smelling like a lot of other men's designer fragrances, and that's what I like about it. And this stuff is super, super awesome. If you're already familiar with Un Histoire d'Homme Irrésistible and you want warmth, like a little bit more warmth, just think of Un Histoire d'Homme Irrésistible, perhaps, you know, having a child with Bentley for Men Intense, that kind of booziness, warmth, and you get the best of both worlds, kind of. I'm not saying this is identical to Bentley for Men Intense. It's kind of giving me similar vibes. So that is LALIQUE Ombre Noir, 100 ml, $44. A great, great price. Then we're going to the house of TIZIANA TERENZI. It's ARRAKIS. So this is a TIZIANA TERENZI take on something like Red Tobacco or Carlisle by the house of Marley. But look at the juice. It's so dark and red. This is super, well, I think this is, no, I think it's got similarities to red tobacco. It's kind of almost as rough as red tobacco, but it is a bit smoother. But also this is extrait de parfum, so it's much longer lasting. It's 100 ml for 185. There's a roughness about it, but wearing the texture is smoother and a bit creamier. It doesn't wear as broken up and rough like red tobacco does. Even though it has that rough effect, the texture of the fragrance is a lot smoother when you're wearing it. But it's super intense tobacco, spices, warm vanillic notes, ambery notes, woods, and perhaps even oudi notes. But wow, it is so super potent. For 100 ml for 185, and suggested retail on that is definitely over $400. So it's a great price and a great scent. If you are a fan of red tobacco fragrances like that, this is one for you to try if you want to upgrade to something a bit more intense and louder and long lasting, super long lasting. ARRAKIS for 100 ml, 185. It's a great, great price. Check it out. Don't pay full retail, pay the discounted price on that one, especially if you can find it. That's what I would do. And everything is timestamp tagged, guys. So if you like a product that I'm talking about, there's that button on the screen that is left to the bottom. You click that, it opens up a window on the right, and the list of products are there, and they are specifically tagged to the different retailers I found these products at. So let's talk about the next fragrance, and then one more after that, and we'll be done until the bonus section. We've got Memo Paris's African Leather. Normally this is $350. A tester with no cap, this time it is no cap, like this, you would get it, is $157. So it's almost $200 off, because suggested retail price on this is $350. So almost $200 off the price of this. Wait, is that right? Yeah, correct. So it's $157 without a cap. So you're basically getting the bottle, and maybe you can find a cap somewhere else, or maybe you already had the fragrance and you have the cap saved. That's what I would do. If you love a fragrance a lot and you are going to wear another bottle, don't throw away the bottle, especially the cap, because you can find a tester online. Sometimes it doesn't come with a cap. Also the box and things like that, because testers do not come with boxes. So you can get rid of the bottle if you want, although there are some people that also collect bottles. So you might want to pass it on to somebody, but keep the cap. You might end up finding a tester online, like for this, it's $157, because then you could just put the cap that you had on your bottle that you finished on the new one, because you got it without a cap. But what's African Leather all about? It's one of the most popular Memo Paris leather fragrances, and it's inspired by Africa. It's African leather. It is a bit animalic, but not too much. For me, it's super spicy and intense with the spices. There's all kinds of spices like cardamom, there's woods, there's cumin that pops through on skin, but I find it to be one of the best from the house, and definitely a long-standing popular offering. So you can get the tester for $157, or you can get full presentation for $163, which is not that much. If you're on a budget and you want to save as much as you can, of course, you can go with the tester without a cap, and then it's only like $5 more or $6 more for the full presentation. But that's normally $350 full retail. So that is African Leather from the house of Memo Paris. And last but not least, this is not the biggest deal, but I found it online for $110. Normally it's $150. This is Arabian Ouds Kalimat. Are you guys familiar with this? I used to talk about this quite a bit on my previous channel, and then a little bit on this current channel. And it's been a long time since I've pulled it out, and I'm going to go ahead and test it out here. To me, this was one of the fragrances when I was first starting talking about fragrances. It was popular. It's super ambery, kind of vanillic, and it has a lot of saffron-y type notes. It's got a very Middle Eastern styling to it, and perhaps there's some oud thrown in. But the effect that it gives is kind of chocolatey, maybe a bit more syrupy, molassesy, but super potent, vanillic, and also very Middle Eastern styling. It's a great scent. I still am smelling it now. It's smelling really, really awesome. So I'm loving the way it smells. It's been a long time. But this is the kind of fragrance that also I've had it for over, this bottle probably over 8 years. It still smells great, because the kind of fragrance this is not going to go bad. Citruses will go bad fast. I keep it in its box. It's dark. It's stored away. Cool, dark, dry space. And it still smells as good as I remember it smelling. But that is 100 ml for 110, normally 100 ml for 150. Totally worth it. And, you know, it is summer now. It's warmer. Have it for autumn and winter. You'll smell great. Anyway, that's Arabian Ouds Kalimat. It's 100 ml for $110, normally 150. Anyway, those are all the deals I found online for you guys. I hope you take advantage of these. Remember, they're timestamp tagged. You can go through the info box and click on the specific fragrances, or within the video, you can go through the chapters. And once you click on a specific fragrance, there is a small little button on screen, left to the bottom. Click that and it opens up all of the products, and you can go from product to product to the various retailers. These are tagged through YouTube Shopping, so no affiliate links in the info box. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, like the video, share it, you know, interact with the video. It helps with the algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel also. Click that bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. All right, here's the bonus section. I want to talk to you guys about one fragrance that I discovered that I'm planning on purchasing. So when I was talking about the Ombre Noir from LALIQUE, I went to their website, LALIQUE's USA fragrance website, looked for that fragrance online. I didn't find it. And so on there, I found a fragrance by LALIQUE called Alain Delon Hommage. And it said it was like 100 ml for $71, but it is at the discounter for 100 ml, $30. Does anybody have any experience with this fragrance? I never heard about this. Is it because of like tribute to Alain Delon, who died like recently? I can't remember. I have an Alain Delon fragrance called Iquitos from the 80s, super animalic powerhouse. I'm sure this is nothing like that, but I'm planning on buying that 100 ml for $30. And if you guys have any experience with it, let me know. Add a comment below. I'm super curious to find out what it's all about. But that is a fragrance I'm buying because of the video. As I said earlier, I buy fragrances when I see deals. It's not just to share with you guys. I also take advantage of those deals as well. And I'm super curious to find out what the Alain Delon Hommage by LALIQUE is all about. 100 ml, $30 is super cheap. I believe it's a ozonic fragrance with violet leaves and sort of things like that. So it's super cheap, so it could be very, very fresh. Anyway, if you have experience with it, let us know. Add a comment below. Let's talk about the haul now. I have bought quite a few fragrances and they finally arrived, and I've got them here. Excuse me. I've got a few fragrances that I wanted to buy that I spoke about recently. One of them is called the Two Roses by Voyage Royal. So really great, cheapy and fresh rose for the summer. But I also recently purchased Dracula. Dracula was $34. And then we also have the Conqueror. So I finally have all four of the fragrances from this house. And a friend had two fragrances from the house. She had the Two Roses and she had Dracula. I enjoyed both a lot. Dracula is super fresh, and I finally have it. It's finally here. And Dracula, I think it's perfect for summer wear. $34 is a great price, and it's a citrus offering. And the only one I haven't experienced so far is the Conqueror, which I'll open up and tell you about. But let me know if you guys are familiar with these fragrances. They're super inexpensive. This is smelling great. I already can smell it. But that is Dracula. It's got a weird name, so I don't know if the name matches the actual fragrance. But this is a citrus aromatic freshie. Very aromatic. There's herbs in there I could smell. There's some light spices and juicy citruses. So perfect for summer wear. I don't know how the performance is. It does have a bit of a classic touch to it. Something more like Eau Sauvage or Rocha Homme. Things like citrusy like that. This is great. It smells wonderful. It's very, very clean and soapy. Kind of also reminds me of the original Acqua di Parma Colonia. So it's $34 for this. Highly recommended for summer. Take advantage of that. I really, really think it's great. As I said, a friend had the Two Roses and also Dracula. And that's the reason why I'm buying them, because they're so inexpensive. And I highly recommend you guys take advantage of those as well. So we also have the Conqueror. I know nothing about the Conqueror. So this is a brand called Voyage Royal. As you can see right there. This it's not a freshie, as you can see right here. With the Dracula, as you can see, it's lemon, mandarin, rosemary, patchouli. This one is allspice, berries, saffron, patchouli, vanilla, orchid. Ooh. This is leaked. Not good. I will have to report on that one. Let's go ahead and smell. This is kind of messed up. It's a bit sticky. Yeah, I will have to report on that. Although I don't really care for the smell as much. Yeah, I think out of 4 fragrances, I spoke about the other one, which I'm forgetting the name, outside of the Two Roses. Didn't really like it. This is probably my 3rd favorite. So Two Roses, Dracula are the 2 favorites. Then I would say this one, the Conqueror. This is a bit more warm and spicy. It's also vanillic. It's got a little bit of a Middle Eastern styling to it. I would re-get this one. I would ask them to resend it because this bottle is really messed up. But again, for me, the Two Roses and Dracula are the 2 best ones from the house. All right, let's clear the counter. All right, a couple of weeks ago, I also spoke about Habit Rouge Parfum, and I took advantage of that and bought another bottle. I really wanted to have a backup because I hadn't bought a backup yet, and now that it's under $100, definitely worth it to buy that at that price. I had a friend come by yesterday and never smelled the Parfum edition. Someone that wore the original really loved it, but I'm glad to have that. It's a great scent. If you don't know Habit Rouge Parfum, it's a much more elevated take on the original, super potent, really loud, kind of vanillic, boozy, and patchouli. So great scent. Definitely worth having for $90 for 100 ml. I'm not sure if the price is still the same price, but I took advantage of the promotion when I spoke about it last. This was also in that same video I spoke about. This is a tester bottle of XERJOFF's Soprano. I don't have too much experience with this one. And thankfully, this is a tester. This is how tester bottles come when you buy them. But it's not the big, super, like, over-the-top box like this. So you get a plain box and the fragrance is inside, as you can see. So this, I paid $130 for a tester of Soprano. And I don't know anything about Soprano. We'll check it out right now and see what it's all about. I don't know anything about it. Is it a rose? Kind of acting kind of green and rosy, but also with a lot of depth. I think it's got to be rose. Not one of my all-time favorites, but $130 is a great price on this, because this is probably over $300 for a full presentation suggested retail. Wow, it is very rosy though. Rose, but green and also amber and some sweetness. All right, I think I can get into that one. All right, that is Soprano. I don't think the prices are still the same. Again, if you're seeing a price I'd let you know about, take advantage of it right away, because the prices are going to change. And last but not least, these fragrances are totally sold out. But I took advantage of, bought 3 bottles of, and these are tester bottles of I Profumi di Firenze fragrances as testers. And if you search my channel, you can hear a little bit about I Profumi di Firenze on the channel. But I bought a bottle of, well, let's see, let's put them in order, and I'll show you what they are. The only one of the 3 that I was familiar with is Rosa di Damasco. I already have a mini bottle of that one that I bought from their store in Florence. But I bought 3 of them at $30. 50 ml bottles for $30. Great price. It says tester on the back because as they were testers. This is Rosa di Damasco. $30 is really, really inexpensive for this line. Although you can probably, well, actually, if you go to their store in Florence, it's more expensive than $30, I think, for a 50 ml. This to me is a classic rose, spicy, dry, powdery, but like super duper rose forward, like intense. There's a little bit of peppery touch in there, a little greenness, maybe some light warmth like vanilla. But to me, it's a very powdery take on rose. This is one that I've really, really enjoyed. I have a tiny little mini bottle of their fragrance. In fact, I'm looking at the collection up in front of me, and that I had bought from their store in Florence with a previous presentation, since they've redone their presentation now to look like that. So the next one is called Layla, which is this. Oh my God, I got all kinds of like glitter on my hands. Layla is this. I don't know this fragrance, but I took advantage of it and bought it. $30 for a 50 ml. It's another tester, but this one does not say tester on the back like the other one did. If you guys have experience with these fragrances, let us know. What's Layla all about? Wow, this one it's smelling great, but also very subdued. It's not shouting like the rose is. Is it fruity and something patchouli? Yeah, it doesn't have a presence, but what I'm smelling under, it's flat, like Coke that's gone flat. But what's there is smelling really, really great. Almost fruity candied, like it. Anyway, I'll have to test it out on skin. So that's Layla. Layla. Last but not least, we've got Futura. Again, $30 for 50 ml, and this one does say tester on the back. Layla did not say tester on the back. Well, that's the other thing with some of this stuff. You might get a bottle, if you buy a tester, it's gonna kind of loudly say tester. You might have a hard time peeling that off if you don't want the tester. Yeah, see, that's kind of coming off. I can take that off with a little bit of alcohol. But what's Futura all about? It smells like Aventus. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Their kind of version of something Aventus-like. Yep, it's very fresh, kind of juicy, citrusy. Very Aventus-like. Futura. Interesting. Anyway, that is my haul, mini haul of fragrances that I bought highly discounted. Again, these are not selling anymore, these I Profumi di Firenze fragrances. I took advantage of them when I saw them. If you see a great deal, take advantage because they're not going to last. Some will last, and sometimes they will last and the prices go up. But I'm talking about really great deals here. So if you're in the market, get them before they run out or the prices go up. See you guys later. Bye-bye.